Hey guys, and welcome to the Bayern View. Hopefully, everybody is doing okay. We're here, we are locked in, and we are talking today with Justin. Obviously, you will know him from, you might know his channel. Check his channel out; it will be in the description. But and title, but you might also know him from the Alex Football Show, obviously that we do on this channel. So you see him every single week on a Thursday. Make sure to check that out. But obviously, you know him, he's on the screen and everything. But like in the fact of why are we talking? We're talking because it's Bayern Munich versus Leipzig, the first game of the Bundesliga season, first game of obviously Leipzig season in the fact of the Bundesliga and obviously Bayern. And yeah, we're going to talk. I obviously will give him the time to speak and so on and so forth. But yeah, man. Number one, thank you for coming on. And how are you, bro?
Hey Liam, and no, it's an absolute pleasure. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, yeah, not too good. Sorry, not too bad, I should say. Yeah, no, it's a bit cold this morning, about 3 degrees or so here in sunny old Adelaide, Australia, as they say. Other than that, yeah, not too bad. Been working on my podcast myself as well for this week, so that'll be coming out in a few days, around about Thursday-ish. So, yeah, we're pretty much ready to go, mate. So let's get cracking into it.
No, 1,000, 1,000. Of course, the little one wants to speak to me when we start streaming. Um,
No, you're good.
but yeah, um, yeah, like it's gonna be a very interesting game. Obviously, there's a big game in the Premier League, being obviously Arsenal versus Man United. And yeah, this game is massive, 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 massive for us. Um, it really, really is. So, what what do you expect to like? What do you expect your? Because obviously you haven't got Sesko, you haven't got certain players. What do you expect?
Well, that's a bit of a tough one, a little bit. So we expect goals, but depending on how you guys set up, we could actually have a bit of a hard time in that as well. So we're not going to have it all our own way. We also don't want to let Bayern just dominate possession and us stand off, although that can come into our play, so to speak, when it comes to counter-attacking football. We will be able to get you guys, hopefully, on a fast break. If we do decide to let you guys set off, we do have pacey players out wide. But with the new formation, which will be a 4-3-3 under Ole Werner, it does appear that we will be focusing more so on the left or right hand side. In the last game against SV Sandhausen in the DFB Pokal, we actually focused a lot more down on the right hand side, but that might have also instead of the left, but that might have also been due to tactical reasons because the player or the left winger up there was also not able to track back as well. I think he was Daniel Praffenrott, I think his name was off the top of my head. He didn't track back very well down on the right hand side. He was a left winger, so that's where we exploited a lot, which actually came out with the first goal of the season and first goal for young Yan Diamande.
Yeah, so obviously Bayern had the game versus Stuttgart, which we did really, really good in. And yeah, man, like fully, was it, we won the first trophy of the season and so on and so forth. Um, what do you think? Like, obviously, again, like I said, yeah, and obviously you've just said as well, but like, what do you think? Because obviously, with the way Bayern play, obviously we play with a high press. Obviously, you'll know from last season it's the same manager, same system, and everything. But like, without having both of your talisman now, do you think you will try to press us, like fully press us, or do you think it's going to be? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I fully expect everything to be business as usual. So, obviously, the gegenpressing or gegenpressing, depending on however you want to pronounce it with English dialect, that's pretty much our aim of the game. So, as soon as we lose possession, we're going to be pressing you 2v1s straight away onto the ball carrier. So, we are expecting to press you straight away to get the ball. It will be Lewis Openda leading the line instead of Benjamin Sesko, who is now at Manchester United. So, and he did feature in that brand new Premier League season, round one against Arsenal, as you mentioned a little bit previously before.
Yeah, no, fully. The little one can't shut the door. That's why I keep having to speak to her.
Nah, you're fine,
um,
mate.
but yeah, no, fully. And I think. like I don't know what to think in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, over this game, um, because obviously, of course, number one, I would love to smash you guys. Um, you know this, you know my opinion, and obviously,
Yeah,
eventually, I'll come on your podcast, and you know, I know that you've got a segment of saying, you know, tell us what you think of us, so on.
yeah, pretty
Which
much.
I will, because you know what I'm like. Um, but
Looking forward to
like,
that.
I want to smash you guys, of course. And we, if I remember, was it 5-0 last season? Was it 5-0?
Last season 5-0. Not too sure about that. I think it was that. I think that might have been in the Hinrunde. Yeah, the Hinrunde last year was 5-1. In the
Okay.
Rückrunde it was 3-3.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah. So, like, I would love to obviously beat you, obviously, just like you would love to beat us. You know what I mean? But like, I said the same with Stuttgart, but then it was like a really tight game. Does that make sense? So, like, for me personally, I think we definitely will score goals. We've got Olise, we've got Kane. You know, Luis Diaz is now on the score sheet. So, does that mean that he's going to be scoring more goals? Um, you know, obviously, you're down a striker. Obviously, don't get it twisted. Um, Openda is a jackass in the sense of having to deal with you know on his day. You know, I hate the word and I hate the saying on his day because you could say that about anyone, but honestly, on
Mm.
his day, he's really really good. So, you know, that's what I mean by that. So it's going to be interesting to see and to you know to see what's that. Xavi Simmons is still with Leipzig at the moment, isn't he?
That's correct. So Chelsea are trying
Yeah,
to look for selling off Christopher Nkunku. He's not going to come to RB Leipzig as of this stage. If he does, it won't be on a permanent move. It'll be a loan move, and there'll be a salary reduction. So very unlikely that move's happening. Maybe like 1%, but you never know in world
yeah,
football.
yeah, of course,
But
of
Xavi
course.
Simmons will line up on Friday evening against the Meister Schalke. Schalke, I believe it's how it is. I probably butchered
Yeah,
that because
yeah,
I don't have the word next to me. But there will be lining up against you guys in probably a midfield position. But for me, when I'm doing my lineup, spoiler alert, a little bit on my show, but obviously a little your viewers or listeners won't be checking out my show too much. But I actually would play him as a left winger. Xavi Simmons instead of in the midfield, but that's just me how we would line up unless we go with a different formation of a 4-3-3 with a central striker and then the three attacking midfielders behind instead. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because obviously um, you mentioned Nkunku. I think him to Bayern now is now off as well. Because similar to you, we wanted a loan, maybe with an
mm,
option to buy. They only want to sell. So which I would understand from his perspective as in the player, because obviously he wants his future to be, you know, stable, if you want to say, rather than moving here, left, right, and centre. But yeah, like it looks like Bayern still are going to push for a loan, but it would be with an obligation to buy, which basically, you know, it's basically a Klarna payment. You know what I mean? We're getting them for free
yeah,
now, aren't we? And then we're having to pay later. So get buy now, pay later type thing. So um, again, I'm for it. I don't really care as long as it's not, you know, ridiculous amounts of money. But yeah, on Xavi Simmons, interesting you say left wing. Is that just because of the way you play, or
yes, so the way we play now under Old Werner is a 4-3-3, traditional, flat 4-3-3, or even if you do it as a attacking or defensive options, with the midfield
yeah?
three or front three being in certain positions. But with those formations, you always have a left and a right winger, and then you have three normally central type
Yeah.
midfielders, normally in a diamond
Mm-hmm.
shape or sometimes a flat shape, depending on obviously tactics and things like that.
Yeah.
So for me, Xavi Simmons can play as a left winger. He can also play as a right winger as well. He's got the talent to be able to do that, even though he's naturally right
Yeah.
footed. So for me, I'll put him on the left hand side only because of another new signing, which I do expect to start, which is I think it's Johan Bakayoko. He originally
Oh yeah. Yeah.
came from PSV
His
and has played
PSP.
with
Yeah.
Xavi
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Simmons as well. So, yeah. So for me, I'd put him
Oh,
more
okay.
on the wing. That's more so for the simple fact of, I mean, he's an attacking player, he's creative, he can play as a winger quite well because we don't have a traditional number 10 like playmaking midfielder like you guys would. You'd have like I know he's out, but like Jamal Musiala behind Harry Kane, your main
Yeah.
striker. We don't play in that type of formation. We use wingers instead. So that's why he'd go on the left wing. And that way we also have three players in the central of midfield where Xavi would normally be, because Xavi tends to slack off a little bit when it comes to defending, when it comes to tracking back, and also his defensive challenging and things like that as well. So having a traditional central midfielder who is going to be able to work around like in a traditional number 6 role or number 8 role or something like that instead of Xavi would
Yeah.
also be more better structurally as well going forward.
Okay. Okay. So you wouldn't play Nusa instead?
No, so I'd come use Noosa as an impact sub. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
you don't really want to, as much as I would sometimes criticize Xavi Simons. I would play Xavi Simons first, just because it doesn't, that way it doesn't hurt any sort of resale value or anything like that we're trying to do.
Okay.
Because they might go, well, why are you not starting him? You know what's going on, and then you could have rumors circling like, oh, he's fallen out or things like that. So yeah, I'd expect like a play maybe 70 minutes or 65 minutes or so, and then swap in for Noosa. But Noosa will be playing normally on that left hand side.
So when you played the you played the Pokal game, didn't you?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have Bakayoko on the right wing?
No, so
Oh, okay.
Bakayoko actually came on as a substitute on the right wing for Yan Diomande. He started, the young 18-year-old, I believe he's from Ivory Coast.
Okay.
He played on the right wing, and then Noosa played on the left, and we also had Xavi Simons playing in central midfield also on the left. And then the midfield right was Xavier Schlager, and the central defensive midfielder was Nicholas Seiwald.
Okay. Okay. And then obviously I'm guessing Openda was your striker.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. 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 Okay. 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 Interesting. Do you think maybe your manager will go with that again, as in like having Xavi Simons on the left centre mid rather than, I know you personally want him as a winger, but do you think he starts Musa and then has Xavi behind him?
I would most would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he does do that tactically, we're going to be exposed on the left hand side anyway. That's why for me, I'd rather him higher up the pitch, because he's going to naturally want to do that anyway, and
Hmm.
then try to catch you guys napping, and then he doesn't track back well enough for like defending. So if he's
Hmm.
already on the left hand side, we have to watch out a little bit for your right back, or a little bit of play down on that side, which in turn does harm us, because obviously Luis Diaz, I do believe, plays on your right, but I might be incorrect on that one.
Left.
He does play on the left,
Left.
yeah. So
So it'll be Olise on the right.
yeah, but even with Elise, like he was fantastic last season as well. So
Yeah.
to leave even him getting too much room and things like that is going to be just ridiculous. Like, you're just going to set yourself up to fail, basically. That being said, though, if you can know where you're going to have your opposition to purposely try to expose and exploit, you could possibly try to starve out the opposition and make sure
Hmm.
that they're not able to have the space to create if you're forcing them down that left hand side or your right hand side. So it
Yeah.
can also come into play into your favour, because I feel that if you have him in the central midfielding area, and that's where the game is won and lost, is in midfield. Now, if you're not going to have a player that's going to work hard and then press and try to get the ball back quickly, then you're just basically setting yourself up to fail. You're going to have to play counter-attacking football, where I would rather see RB Leipzig, especially from a supporter's perspective, actually take it to Bayern, because if you don't take it to Bayern, that's not
Hmm.
giving you the best chance to win. So
Yeah. Of
if you
course.
let Bayern friggin' do whatever they want, and then you don't turn around and actually obviously you're going to have to make your own chances and make them pay on the counter attack,
Of
or even
course.
if not, you not taking it to Bayern and just letting them dictate play. It's just a recipe for disaster from the get go.
Yeah. No. No. Fully agree. If you allow us to, do our patterns, do our, whatever our shit is, you know what I mean? Again, that's not going to do you any good. I fully agree. Yeah, I think Olise is going to be one of the keys, um, to be honest, in this game. Um, he's, I personally, now I know that this is me and me only. I'm just trying to Google Leipzig a second. I want to see what you mean with your formation. let me click
Yeah.
it with you. So yeah, no, with Olise though, I actually believe he's the best player in the world right now. Which people would say otherwise, and that's fine. You know, I am biased fully. I'm fully Bayern, obviously through and through. Um, but yeah, like for me personally, he's so good, honestly. You know, and it's coming from watching him against Spurs, which yes, to everybody watching, was a preseason game. I understand, but like the runs he makes, the dictate of the dictate of play and everything. Like it seems like everything goes through him, which obviously shows how important he really, really is. Yeah, I've got your lineup. I've got your lineup here, just here. So this was obviously totally different game. Obviously, it was against a lesser opponent. Obviously, you won.
Mm.
Obviously, in there. So I'm guessing you're probably going to have what the same back line. I'm guessing David Raum, Lokba, Orban, and Baku.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yeah.
When did you sign Baku? I swear he used to play for Wolfsburg.
That is correct. We signed him, I do believe, in the January transfer window of the
Okay.
Rückrunde last year, so of the Bundesliga. So, and then I think he scored his first goal for us actually against his opponent, old employers as well, against Wolfsburg. So, but for me, was actually one of the best signings and piece of business we did last year, for the price that we paid, and then for what we actually got in the output. Don't quote me on his actual transfer fee, but yeah, it was quite small compared to what he did because he managed to score and also assist as well, and also being a good backup for Benjamin Henrichs, who is still out injured. He's currently rehabilitating in Leipzig for his Achilles tendon injury. He suffered against you guys in the Hinrunde, I believe it was,
Yeah.
and that
No, I
5-1
remember that.
loss, I think it was, or it might have been the
Yeah,
3-3
yeah.
draw. I can't remember, but yeah, it was during one of those games.
Uh, I can never see your goalkeeper's name. I know he's the young one. Is it a Van Volt? Volt?
Van der Voort. So Martin
Van,
Van der Voort. Yeah.
yeah, Martin Van der Volt. He's the really young one, isn't he?
He's not really young, but yeah, he's like 23, 24 or something like that. Could be
Yeah.
even younger. So yeah,
Wasn't he playing in the Belgium league?
correct. He was playing for Genk.
Genk. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is he your main goalkeeper now?
There was talks, and I also wanted him to be the main goalkeeper. However, Ole Werner has come out stated that in the DFB Pokal, it was going to be Martin van der Voort for the keeping spot. However, in the Bundesliga game, we expect Peter Galacci, who was voted the best goalkeeper last season in the Bundesliga, to be the number one in the goals on Friday night. So I do expect Peter Galacci to be in goals, not Martin van der Voort, which is a shame. I would have liked to have seen Martin play a few more games this season, and I'm hoping he does actually manage to get more games than he did last season because he's a good talent. He just needs to make sure that he keeps his eye and gets given the games. He did make an error against Sandhausen where he should have saved a ball instead of parrying it into danger. It was quite a weakish shot as well, which cost us a goal. But yeah, he's going to make mistakes just like everyone. So yeah,
Of course.
pretty much I would put him there for experience and probably change a couple of people, but there's going to be basically an almost unchanged lineup because I do believe it's us trying to field the best possible team, like we did against SV Sandhausen, and we actually got we weren't actually too good. We were 2-2 up until around about the 70th minute, and we conceded twice, so we went
So
behind
would you?
twice.
Yeah, are you not happy with that performance then, as a whole?
No, no, not at all. So I'm not too sure when you're airing this, but when I do a detailed review on my podcast episode, I'm not happy at all, especially considering we were supposed to have fielded the best team, and we basically let. I know there are only I think it was a regional Liga team, so like fourth division or something like that
Yeah,
team, but you still left there attacking or they're dangerous players because they've got them in all teams. Doesn't matter what level of football.
yeah, of course.
We left their dangerous players basically, by themselves. We weren't tracking back properly. We got ourselves caught out over committing. Basically, if we turn around and did that against Bayern on Friday night, it would easily be 6-0. So, and that's a score that you'd obviously love. So,
Of course. Of course.
the same thing for everyone
Keep
also watching
talking.
this.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So it really depends on what team shows up. So RB Leipzig, we've
Yep.
been, we're still going to have some teething problems under the new manager, but we've had, this almost expectation lately since we had Marco Rosa, and then even just when he had his replacements and things like that. We tend to, it depends on what team shows up on the day. You're going to get this attacking fluid Leipzig that is just going to be like, where is this team? The teams that have beaten, Bayer Leverkusen and, able to draw against you, or, things like that. Or you're going to get the team where it's just absolutely woeful and it's just a mess. So for me, it could be the latter. You never know on Friday night. So there's going to be, I have to do some real work during the training in midweek to make sure that it's not an actual cricket score.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, I'm looking here now, and like, as a whole, what do you think of what your manager's doing? Because you beat to lose 7-0, but then you lost both your preseason games, didn't you? Now, they are preseason games, don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? So it's not, a knife in the neck or anything, but like, what do you like? Do you think he's gonna get sacked, or what are you thinking?
As in the new manager, Ole Werner, or
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I don't see him being sacked. Like, he would have to drastically fail worse than what Domenico Tedesco did at one stage of the club, where he was like 13th or something. So we brought in Marco Rosa, I do believe, at that point in time. So I don't expect it to be that bad. I don't think the wheels are going to fall off the wagon or anything like that. It is going to take some time, obviously, for the players to get into a new style and things like that. I didn't like what I saw when it came to our defensiveness, or I should say our defensive contributions for the players on the pitch. I also don't like the new captaincy role for David Raum. That's also a little bit biased because Willie Orban is one of my favourite players, so him losing the captaincy as well is a little bit of a pain in the backside, so to speak. But I also don't think that David Raum is not a bad player or anything like that, but he is not. His positioning on the pitch sometimes is a little bit woeful, and that was also shown against Sandhausen. So he's going to really need to lead from the front, like the captain is supposed to, and make sure that he's actually not giving away, easy outs and things like that for you guys on the games in the game day. So, but I don't think Ole Werner's going to be sacked or anything like that anytime soon. So I do expect that, it's an old saying, trust the process. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think we've got our attacking and our fluid, our passing and things like that, and the way we're moving with our runs and channels and things like that, the passing lanes. I do think that is fine. It just needs to be our actual defensive shape and how we defend. That doesn't really look like it's been doing much, so to speak, when it comes to on training and things like that, because it showed against, I think it was Atalanta that we lost against, and then there was a RC Lens as well. It was the same thing. So and they were, I wouldn't say they're top world teams, but they were obviously a lot better than the caliber of I think it was Toulouse, and I can't remember who we played for the first game. Excuse me, for the first game. So, obviously, a big gulf in quality there from those two compared to the other two that we played.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. So with Simmons, obviously we all know that obviously Chelsea are trying to get him. Obviously Bayern are trying as well. Max Erb will be in the donkey again. And obviously you're not going to get in Nkunku. Is there any replacement for Xavi Simmons coming in?
Not at this stage. They're going to, I believe, get someone, if they get someone, for a Xavi replacement if he gets sold.
So after, okay.
Yeah, so for instance, if he goes before the January transfer window, so if he goes in the next, what is it, the 31st of August or something like that? If he goes then we'll probably just promote from within and then possibly get someone. There is talks that there's been several players scouted. They haven't really named anyone. This is all speculation. Okay. But there has been players scouted. The main one is Harvey Elliott from Liverpool. For me, it's not a bad replacement, so to speak, but I'm also wary on it because even though he hasn't really been able to break into the team at Liverpool, he's obviously played well in the Club World Cup and things like that. And for, I think it was like England under 21s or something. He's did quite well. But for me, if you can't break into a Premier League team and you can't be Premier League standard, then, I mean, I know the Bundesliga isn't as, as physical on a
Yeah.
week to week basis, and it isn't like a very crammed fixture compared to the Premier League. But if you can't make it in that league, what's to say that you can make it in the Bundesliga? So yes, it's a lesser league, so to speak, but it'd be like the same thing from going from the Premier League down to La Liga. So
Hmm.
for me, the top three is Premier League by far, and then I'd say Bundesliga. I'm in a bit biased, but Bundesliga just above La Liga, because obviously, unless you're Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid or Barcelona, you pretty much don't really have any other major teams that you're going to be facing week in and week out. So
Yeah.
for me, it was actually Rodrigo Mora that I looked at from FC Porto, young 18-year-old. That would be my preferred replacement for several reasons. One, it fits with our current philosophy of youth. Two, has a higher ceiling than Harvey. Is it Harvey or yeah, I think it's Harvey. Harvey
Yeah, Harvey
Elliott.
Elliott. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
a higher ceiling than Harvey Elliott. So that being said, so in other words, it's about so roughly, without looking at the actual ages difference, it's like maybe 3 or 4 years or something like that on top. You
Hmm.
also have the ability to sell a player later on, obviously. So, being so young, you've still got so much time to develop and nurture the player. Where Harvey Elliott is already, you would say, is more tactically adept. Like he's obviously talented, but he doesn't really need any more, nurturing when it comes to growing his abilities and things like that. He hasn't peaked or anything, but all the fundamentals and stuff are there, so he doesn't need to work on any errors or things like that in his technique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I do think that the price is. I think Rodrigo Mora has around about a 70 million euro release clause though, or something from Porto. So from what I've looked into, and that's a little bit too much from what we're looking to get. But me, I also think of players for not just the now, but also the future. So, and I
Of
think
course.
Rodrigo Mora, even though he's still quite young, I think he's able to make that next step to a bigger club at a different league. I mean, I wouldn't say that we are a bigger club, but considering how
I know what you mean.
how young we are and things like that. But when it comes to going up to a bigger league, then yeah, Rodrigo Mora is definitely able to do that.
No, no, no. I fully know what you mean. I fully know what you mean. It's in like the Bundesliga club rather than the Portuguese league. I know what you mean.
Yeah, basically.
Because I know full well someone's gonna be like, "RB Leipzig bigger than Porto." Yeah, shut up.
Now Porto's a bigger
Um,
team. Yeah.
yeah, they're ginormous. Um, but yeah, where do you think your biggest strengths are in your team?
The biggest strengths I would say is the way that we attack and the way that
But
we it's basically the pace. So we're practically deadly on both wings. So and on the counter attack. So if we're able to play quick passing balls and
hmm
just run basically and dribble and go straight through, then we'd be fine. So that being said, though, obviously having to beat the press is the first thing you need to do. So it's not going to be all easy and have our own way. So if we probably have to play very close to the shoulder of the last man of the defense. So you'll probably catch us a lot offside, especially Lewis Openda. He's almost notoriously notable for that. I don't know how he still gets himself offside so much because he's so quick, but he still tends to get himself offside. It's like he gets eager too early or something like that, or misjudges his
Yeah,
runs all
yeah.
the time. I have no idea, and I watch the guy week in and week out. I just think how I don't know how it's possible because he's so fast. He can beat most centre backs quite easily in world football. So in terms of just out and out pace. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
and basically the element of surprise, I would say, is another thing. So because really even we don't really know what we're getting yet because we haven't gotten there yet. So the this new football philosophy under old Werner, the signs are there and the foundation is laid, but we don't know what it's going to evolve into. Like so,
yeah,
we could be one of these teams where it could be like what was it, like the Barcelona team of 28 or 2008 or something like that, where it was just nothing but tiki taka. You couldn't get the ball off them. We could end up a team like that, or we could have almost peaked now. Who knows? So
yeah.
yeah, there's an element of surprise a little bit as well.
No, no, no. I'm fully, fully with you. Obviously, Bayern perspective. Olaseh is going to be very, very key to stop from your perspective. Not obviously letting Harry Kane get the ball in the box. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, that was one of the things that Stuttgart made the mistake on the other day, where They tried to pass back in the air. The defender missed the ball, or missed the ball, shall I say, and didn't clear it. Harry Kane, it bounced straight in front of him, and he was always scoring it. So, yeah, obviously not allowing him space, not allowing him time, is always going to be the case. But the thing is now is for the Club World Cup last season, so on and so forth. Obviously, we had Jamal Musiala at that point, but it was always ping it to the right, ping it to the right, ping it to the right. Now we've got Luis Diaz. You know, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for many teams this season to actually stop us. Now, that one of the main things, or criticisms from me, is in that Stuttgart game, 17 shots, only 3 on target. You know,
Mm.
we need to get better with our finishing. We need to get better with actually putting the ball in the back of the net. Now we don't have Leroy Sané anymore, so the ball isn't hitting the moon anymore and going out the stadium. You know what I mean? But more in the fact that now we just need to be more, clinical. So yeah, it's going to be very hard. Obviously, don't get it twisted. You've got good players, very good players. But again, Bayern have got elite wingers. Luis Diaz has showed that. Michael Olise showed that, and obviously Harry Kane being in the middle. Now, the only problem is he going to be in the middle, or is he going to be playing DM again? That's going to be very interesting to see. But what if I was to ask you your score? What would you say?
As in for full time score as of right now,
Yes.
it'd be a Bayern win. I can't really see us doing an absolute upset and actually beating Bayern as much as I would like that to happen myself.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But look, it's either going to be a close repeat of the last game that we played, like a 3-3 or something like that, or
Okay.
if depending on if we can't fix our defensive issues, like if we've actually got issues, or if we were just playing poorly because we were playing against the fourth division, so there was a bit more laziness and it was a very hot day,
Of
and
course.
you can make excuses under the sun. But I think personally, from all the games that I've seen in the preseason and our first game, that there is some defensive issues and structural issues when it comes to defending. So I'm going to go more so on the cautious side and say that there is no defensive issues or anything like that, and that would probably be a 3-2 win for Bayern. However, if we do have those defensive issues and things like that, from what I'm expecting because of what I can see, then that could be around about a 5-0, 6-0, or maybe a 5-1, 6-1, and we might be able to get like a cheeky score or something like that, but like a goal, I should say. But yeah, either way, it's going to be a Bayern win.
Okay. Interesting. You don't think there's any chance you like score and then defend?
Oh, absolutely. There is a chance that, we could possibly win, but, to think that you're going to just, get 1 or 2 goals or something like that. And if you're lucky, get the jump on Bayern or something. So, you're 1 goal up or two goals up or something, or you
Yeah.
get in the lead, to rest on your laurels and not to keep attacking and trying to score more. That's, not going to end well regardless, So I
Yeah.
can't see, any teams in world football like being able to sit there and defend against Bayern, just with a 1 goal lead. So you have to keep attacking. You have to, make sure that you guys aren't having it all your own way and things like that. And I do expect let's try and say this properly, a free flowing game of football from both ends and both sides. So I think there's going to be periods where you guys are going to dominate. I think there's going to be periods where we will dominate. Obviously, more the Bayern than the RB Leipzig perspective. But I do
Of
think it's
course.
going to be an entertaining fixture for everyone to watch, even the neutrals.
Yeah. No. Fully. Fully. And I've actually gone with a 3-2. Um, I think it is going to be close. It is going to be close, like the 3-3 was, but I think we just edge it. Which obviously, again, I said it at the start, and I know fully that you would be obviously with the Uno reverse. You'd love to smash you guys. You'd love to smash us. But again, it seems to be the case that at times we both have our, each other's number, and you will get the goals that you need to get. So yeah, I'm going with a 3-2. Um, that would generally be what I would go with. But yeah, like a win, even if it was a stinky 1-0, I would take it. You know what I mean? Because this is a big clash. You know what I mean? At the end, obviously, it's not the Classica, but it is a massive game because at the end of the day, this game, I generally feel like you knocked um, Leverkusen off their perch. You know, when you beat them, I thought after that they started to dip a little bit, and I'm pretty sure if I'm right by saying that they lost a couple games after that as well.
I think so.
Yeah, so like I think it's very, very important in the Bundesliga to actually get it off with a win. So yeah, I'm going with a 3-2. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you smash likes. Make sure you check Justin out. Obviously, it'll be in the comments. And yeah, until then, we're out of here. Yes, I'm Mia. Big up to everyone. And yeah, we're out.